It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Hop Nation Brewing Company, and this is the Heart Pale Ale. It's coming in at 4.6% ABV in a 375 milliliter can. Big shout out to Travis in Australia for sending us the beer. Big. I mean, it's great. It really is great to get these beers all the way from Australia. All the way to us here in the UK. Independently owned and operated. I don't read cans before we get into the beer review. I'd rather go into this beer review blind and then kind of pick up what we're actually getting properly later on the side of the can. I think it gives more of a blind taste test, kind of human. It's my own thoughts on this beer rather than what the brewer wants you to think. Okay, so look at this. One finger white head. Good levels of carbonation rolling up the glass. Can you see that? There you go, pale, hazy straw-coloured beer. Nice and cold, but not overly cold. I've had this beer out of the fridge for about 20-25 minutes, so it's had a chance to warm up a bit. I don't like to drink my pale ales, IPAs, overly cold because the flavours drop out. Believe it or not, the flavours drop out. You get a little bit of hop haze, which I don't think we have here. I definitely think it's warm enough to have got rid of the hop haze. That's generally kicks in at 4 degrees and below. But for me, this is all about getting it slightly warmer, but still cold, to enjoy all of the hops and all of the flavours in the beer. Let's get the aroma. Pale ale, it's interesting because if I'm to have a wild stab at this, even in the aroma, just looking at the beer and getting the aroma on the beer, it's almost got a feeling of they've used Pilsner malt in the beer, that really light kind of crisp malt. Get a little sense of, I mean, if this was handed to me without the can, just this glass of beer come wandering over to the table and somebody said, try this, I would say, just by getting the aroma, that it's more of a hoppy Pilsner. I'm picking up some kiwi fruit. Your soft mangoes, your passion fruits. But then a certain light kind of estery, kind of like they've used Pilsner malt or some kind of lager yeast in here. Orange, nectarine. It smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. Oh, I gotta put that down. I've got to put that down. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What a fantastic beer. That is really juicy, really crisp, really refreshing. Wow. Really tasty. That is a really tasty beer, but really clean as well. Really clean and fresh and drinkable. Oh, I'm just kind of, you know, a lot of a lot of YouTube, you know, is all about kind of staring at the camera, but I just want to. I put the beer on the counter here. I'm just like almost like ignoring you guys a little bit and just staring at the beer, fixated on the beer. It's really nice. Thank you, Travis. This is lovely. It's got a tutti fruitiness about it. A real crispness. I can't get over the fact how crisp and clean and refreshing and drinkable this beer is, but it's got a nice kind of tutti fruity, like the kids just, well, I bought it for the kids. We just had Halloween here in the UK last few days, and I buy them all sorts of bags of sweets at Lidl's, and there's a big huge bag of like fruited toffees that I bought them, and I haven't had any because I'm not really a sweet eater, but you can imagine like all of the different fruit flavors in that mixed bag of toffees. And as a kid, I remember eating sweets. Of course I do. I wasn't that alien, but it's just I always say tutti frutti because they were my favourite. I used to get these little kind of hard sweets, tutti fruttis we called them. They were red and pink and orange and all the different purples and colours of the rainbow. And it almost takes me back, that kind of, if you're old enough you'll remember tutti fruttis. This is really good. This is really good. I like that zing, that spring of zestiness in there. Orange peel and tangerine and light mango flavours and kiwi fruit, and yeah, look at it. Look as I rock the beer back and forth as well. You can see that carbonation chasing the head of the glass. Really, really good example of a beer. Hop Nation Brewing Company, the Hard Pale Ale. Where are these guys based? They're at Whitehall Street, Footscray, Victoria, Australia. And they're saying Hop Nation Brewing Company is a Melbourne-based brewing company specialising in the production of small batch beers. The Heart is a product of our obsession, made from long days of hard work and plenty of beer. I know a lot of brewers, of course I do. I was on the phone to a brewer just last night. Spent an hour on the phone to a brewer last night, and you know, he was telling me that the reason why he's a brewer and the reason why he owns a brewery is that he loves it. You know, he loves the fact that it's such hard work. Such hard work. He put a batch of beer out for contract canning, and some of the cans come back damaged, and this is the second time this happened to him, and not overly happy. And he said, but you know what, kind of like, because all your hard work, it takes weeks to brew beer, and then you send that beer off to be canned, and it comes back and all the cans are damaged. It takes weeks and weeks, and it's like 12-hour days. But the reason he told me he carries on is because there's late afternoons, late evenings where he finishes work, they've cleaned the brewery down as they have to do every day when they're brewing, keep the yeast infection away, of course. But then the passion comes out. The real passion. It's like they all work there because they all love beer, and then they all kind of just gravitate towards having a beer before they go home at the end of the night. And that's a really good thing. That's a really good thing. There's not many kind of industries, like I'm a carpenter, or I was a carpenter, where you're working with wood all day and then you want to come home and, or you want to, at the end of the day, you want to grab hold of a bit of wood and start smelling it, and you know, that sort of thing doesn't happen, you know, in my industry and many other industries, especially people who work in call centres and generally have office jobs. There's no like finish, is there? There's no like end to it. There's no like, at the end of the day you can go and have a look, and you can go and sample your hard work, the delights. You can drink some of the beer and you can sample that passion that you put in. You can almost taste it in your own beer. And all of the hard work that everybody else puts into the brewery. There's so much work that goes into brewing beer. And yet here we are. I'm not going to get into it too much, but yeah, here we are with the December situation, as I like to call it, in the UK, where we're not even allowed to sell takeaway beer now. And I'm not going to get political. I'm not going to get into that. That's for another video, maybe. I'm just going to rate this. It's terrific. They named the names of the Cheers Salmon Dunk. Oh, did they say they used Pilsner malt? Just very quickly, we're pouring Golden Straw currently. Ingredients. I'm sure they've used some kind of lager yeast or Pilsner malt. It's very clean. It's very refreshing. Doesn't say. I'm going to rate it. I like the Heart Pale Ale enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Thank you very much to Travis in Australia for sending us the beer. Thank you very much to Hop Nation Brewing Company for brewing the beer. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!